And we now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique de Lenise Cardinal.
Oh my
Hello,
God,
everybody.
man.
The heck did you just, spell incantation?
You guys, I figured you guys would know what that was. Isn't that from
I do know what it is. I'm amazed Mike don't know what it is.
No, I'm stupid. Explain.
It's from a
Genshin.
game, an anime game.
It's
Right?
from Genshin, Mike. From Genshin.
What?
Yes, it's in Fontaine, the newest area.
Well, how the heck does Joey know about that?
People are
TikTok?
remixing it and making it a song on TikTok.
There's a song?
Yeah.
Yes, there is. The song is from Genshin. Someone took the guy who says it a lot.
The judgment of the
Yeah.
Oratrice Mécanique de Lenise Cardinal. According to the judgment of the Oratrice.
That's my boy! I know who that is. Well, I know the voice actor. The voice actor's really cool.
Yeah, it's very catchy. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shock these guys by pulling out some polls from their world.
Shock you indeed.
Yeah. Threw me for a loop.
Welcome to the Magic of Animation, where we explore the enchanting world of Disney, from the classics we grew up with to the latest releases. We'll take a deep dive into the artistry, storytelling, the unforgettable characters, and the pure magic that makes these movies timeless. So whether you're a lifelong Disney fan or new to the magic, sit back, relax, and join us as we embark on our journey through the wonderful, magical world of animation. This is the Magic of Animation podcast. I am Joey, and I am joined by Dequan.
Hello.
And Kevin.
Hey there.
And Mike.
Hello.
I don't really have anything to give you guys nickname-wise. Sorry about that. So we'll jump right into Pooh's 100-Acre Check and Dequan. How was your previous week?
It was strange. My sleep schedule was entirely messed up.
Wonderful.
I think it's better now.
That's
Because
good.
I was going to sleep at I don't know when I would go to sleep, honestly. I don't remember. But I know I would wake up at 11 p.m. and I would have to work at 7 p.m. So I would just not go to sleep. And I would just stay up because I woke up anyways. And then I would go to work at that time. It was weird. And last thing is we have a Christmas party coming up for the residents and some of the coworkers at my job, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Christmas parties are always fun.
Yeah, we're going to an arcade. The staff is, not the residents.
That'd be amazing if they were, though.
I think there'd be a little too much for them.
Kevin?
Nothing much. Just had my daughter's birthday party and celebrated all weekend. And
With a sweet cake. Who made that?
the wife made that.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah. That was a hit. That's for sure. We kept getting people stopping left and right at Dave and Buster's, like, "Oh wow, what a cake!
Yeah.
Did you have cards?"
For those of you who didn't see it, it was a cake that looked like a burger from Bob's Burgers. It was pretty sweet.
Indeed.
Just that?
Yep.
Yeah. Mike?
Oh, nothing much. Just working. I've gotten back in a while. That's been horrible. And that's pretty much it.
I didn't do nothing. I went bowling. League night.
Nice.
Yeah. My parents were in a tournament before the league night, so they didn't bowl in the league. And my dad had been drinking at the tournament, so he was a little toasty at league night. And he went in the bar with one of his buddies, and they got a shot, and then his buddy didn't want to pay for his drink, so then they almost got in a fight. And I was like, come on now. You guys are 60 years old. Chill out. So yeah, that's about it. Watched a interesting movie, which we're about to discuss, which in the intro I didn't even mention that we're discussing the Black Cauldron, so I'll mention that now. Threw off everything by rapping some lines of dialogue from a video game.
Way to go.
Yeah. So, we'll go into stats from Baymax. The Black Cauldron was... let's try that again. The Black Cauldron was released by Disney Animation on July 24th in 1985. And it was based on the Chronicles of Pradon book series by Lloyd. Is there a missing name there, or is it just... Okay, Lloyd Alexander. It was like he just goes by Lloyd.
Just Lloyd.
It had... This is insane. It had a budget of $44 million.
Wow.
Nothing has even come close to that. The highest so far was $12 million with Fox and the Hound. And then it only made $21 million. So not good. When you quadruple your budget from any other movie and then don't even make it back, don't even make half of it back, oof.
It's okay. It was the message. It was about the message.
So do you guys have any guesses on what the tomato meter gave this movie?
Alright, here's my guess. The tomato meter gave this movie a 73.
Kevin? Mike?
I'm gonna say they thought it was low at like 54.
Mike? Is Mike here?
Nope.
I guess not. He was here when we all started.
Right. Well, it's 57. So Kevin, you were pretty
Woo!
dang close.
Kevin, I'm tired of
happened?
robbing this victory from me.
I was asking about what you think the tomato meter is for this movie.
12.
57.
I said 12 because I heard 57,
Oh.
so I was like, okay, that answered that question.
So do you guys think that the audience score was higher or lower?
Audience score was slightly higher.
I think for the first time ever, it's probably slightly lower.
It is lower with a 48.
Oh my God, Kevin! I'm gonna call it now. I think that you're cheating. You work for Disney.
He's on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, honestly, I'm not. Is this the first one that's actually the audience score is lower?
Let's see. No, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh got a 100 tomato meter and an 87. It's kind of hard to get higher than 100 when the score goes to 100, so that's kind of an outlier. And then The Rescuers got a 68, but had a 79 tomato meter. 101 Dalmatians was lower. Sleeping Beauty was lower. Lady and the Tramp was lower.
Jeez,
Alice in Wonderland was lower. Cinderella was lower. Ichabod and Mr. Toad was lower. Bambi was lower. Dumbo was lower. Fantasia was
Kevin's
lower.
like,
Pinocchio was
I get it.
lower.
I
Snow
get
White
it.
was lower. Almost all of them were lower.
Yeah. That's okay.
So it would have been more of an outlier if it was higher.
It appears that it's only Fox and the Hound, Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone, surprisingly, Peter Pan, and that's it that are higher than the tomato meter. That's shocking. I would have been on your side, Kevin.
Right?
But we'll go into Timon and Pumbaa's movie review. We'll start off with general enjoyment. And I texted you guys that was a wild ride, and Dequan thought that meant it was a good thing. And honestly, I don't know what it means.
he's literally the Rotten Tomatoes. He's in the 50s. He's
See,
I don't know.
I thought it was a good thing because, like, usually when Joey says something, it's usually dear God, this movie was terrible,
But-
or I love this movie.
So that's
so
the
hearing that it
thing.
was a wild ride was a mix. I'm like, oh, it has to be good because he didn't say anything bad.
Because that's the thing is I liked a lot about it, but then also really hated so much about it. So I'd be sitting there watching and be like, wow, this is good, and then I would be reminded on how awful it was. So it was just up and down, up and down, up and down. But first note, no opening credits, as Kevin mentioned in the last episode.
Yep.
Oh, I actually had a question.
Yep.
So it opens up with the well, at least on mine, it opened up with the Disney castle and the overhead thing.
Yep.
First
And
time.
I've never seen that in the other ones. Was this the first one to do it?
This is
This
the beginning of the classic blue and white castle.
But
I had a
don't-
feeling because I was watching, I'm like, wait, this never played before.
I'm pretty
Is this the
sure
first
though,
one?
like when we get to Little Mermaid, maybe not Little Mermaid, but I'm pretty sure with like Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, they put the new one over that one. I think.
They didn't bother with this one. They're like, no one knows this movie.
Yeah. That's what my next note says. Not only had I never heard of it, it looks like Disney made it and then threw it in a bin in the back of the warehouse and never looked at it again. Because I said they didn't even update the old Walt Disney logo. But I could be wrong. I remember seeing the new logo watching it. But I could be wrong. Because I know Goofy Movie has the old one from the 90s. And obviously this one does. But I guess we'll see. Everything seemed off to me. The animation seemed very choppy. The audio seemed pasted over it instead of like being like that it's meant to be there. It just seems like they recorded it like 6 years later and then put it over some animation they found. And the dialogue and the delivery seemed very not good.
See, I feel like for the audio, like it reminded me a lot of the Sword in the Stone audio, where it sounded like you could hear that they were in a room being recorded.
Right, and not a sound studio.
Mm-hmm. Especially, what the heck was that thing's voice? Or no, what's his
Gurgi?
name?
Gurgi's
Yeah,
voice was
Gurgi.
messed up.
Kind of gave me... You know what's funny? Watching this movie, I literally got like 3 different feelings from that. I was like, okay, I got Lord of the Rings vibes.
Mhm.
I got Star Wars vibes.
Interesting.
Star Wars comes from, okay, so you have the young hero who runs into a girl who is a princess, is guided by an older man in a way, like on the adventure at least, and finds a magic weapon.
Okay. That's good comparison.
Oh, and a spunky little sidekick. And what's the other one? I don't remember the other one, so I'm not going to bother with it. But I definitely got like Lord of the Rings vibes. In Gurgi's voice, literally, I just kept thinking of Gollum.
Yeah.
I literally just the whole time was like, is that Gollum? Gollum with hair. Instead of losing all his hair, he grew extra hair.
See, I had the similar thing with the Lord of the Rings that you had, Mike. But I also had an additional thing. Do you guys know that game where the guy has to run into a castle and save a princess, and pretty much every action you mess up on, you die?
Isn't
Mario.
that called Dragon Slayer?
Dragon's Lair, yeah. I got vibes of Dragon's Lair from this
Wait, is it Dragon's Lair or Dragon Slayer?
lair, I believe.
I just remember the other one too.
So my uncle
With
has
Zelda.
My uncle has a board game from his childhood, and it was a board game for Dungeons and Dragons from his childhood, and it's so old looking and cheesy looking, and that's the vibe I was getting the whole time watching it.
You know what's funny?
That board game.
Okay, so not that exact board game, but again, Dungeons and Dragons. I'm literally looking at this. Okay, so we have the young, I guess you'd call they could just be the simple warrior princess who is the magician. Then they come across a bard. I was like, huh, this feels very D&D-esque with like the roles they have.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Legend of Zelda. Not necessarily like the new ones, but like the old like CD-ROM game ones where Link actually talked. It's like the one where it comes from like with that, well, excuse me, princess.
You know, it's funny that you brought up Legend of Zelda because there's actually rumors that that this movie actually influenced the designer of The Legend of Zelda.
I can see that.
Because he stated before that his influences included medieval European folklore. But he doesn't specifically directly say the Black Cauldron, but that's what this movie is based off. So,
well, I can definitely see
can...
Zelda and the girl. I forget her name.
Like
I know her
Princess
name, but I don't know how to say it.
Elio
and I don't know.
We're calling her Princess
Ilanwi,
L.
that's it. Ilanwi.
That's what it is.
Calling her Princess L.
Well, her name starts with an I, so.
Does that try to start?
Yeah, but like, how did you just pronounce it?
Ilanwi. Ilanwi.
L. Alami. Yeah, exactly. See L. Perfect. Anyways, continue.
Weren't you talking?
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
I don't know.
Well, I'll
Maybe
just
Kevin was
finish
saying
it like.
something.
Well, like you said, you know, you can definitely see. Honestly, in her color palette of her clothes, to the blonde hair, definitely looks like Zelda. But also, I can definitely see him with Link because he has like that similar green tunic.
Yep.
With what was originally, I believe, the sword in the original Zelda was called the Magic Sword, not the Master Sword.
Very, very creative name they went with, huh?
Yeah, it was basically like it just shot out swords. So it doesn't do exactly what it does in this movie, but it was a magic sword. Or it was something like that. I probably got the name wrong.
Kevin, were you done with your comparison comment?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we kind of stole your thunder there.
No?
The dragon and pig chase scene, that was a pretty sweet scene. That was probably the only scene where it actually like felt like they were stakes. And not the food.
No, that'd be pork.
The sounds of this movie were so bad. What is it? What are they? Foley? That's what it's called. The Foley was awful.
The what?
The Foley.
What was a Foley? I don't remember.
The Foley is when you go in after the movie is done and you add the sound effects in.
Oh. I thought you were talking about a specific thing in the movie.
No. And, what was it? Like at one point when he was in the castle and all the guys were coming at him when he fell off the rafters, none of them were screaming. They were all like, and I was like, what the heck is this? When he was given the pig a bath and he poured the bucket of water on it, that didn't even sound like a splash. And then the one big problem I have is when Ilanwi came into the cell, she was in the corner, facing the corner. She turned her head a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and was like, I thought I heard someone in here. Like, there's a whole cell behind you.
Well, she doesn't know that. If she turned around, she'd see the, like, brick that she lifted up.
I don't know. That scene irritated me.
You say, speaking of scene, you know the scene where they were escaping in the boat?
Yeah.
So the gate was locked. They unlocked the gate. The gate was locked again. How did the gate get locked the second time?
So it wasn't... The drawbridge was opened, and then they shut the gate. The drawbridge was closed.
Like I said, when they were in the boat. When they were in the boat and the castle was falling down.
Mm-hmm.
Like the old guy's like, hey, the gate was locked. We have a problem. So main character gets into the water and he's like struggling to get the chain off the gate, which he does, and he pushes it open. And so as we try to get back in the boat, there's rocks falling. And it shows the gate again with the lock and chain on it. But then they just swim through it afterwards.
I must have been writing a note at that part, 'cause none of that sounds familiar to me.
I don't remember any of that. What?
I thought they opened up the drawbridge and then left, and then that was it.
No, I think
That
he's
was
talking
like-
about near the end.
Yeah,
Are you
like
talking about near the end?
you don't
Am
remember?
I not
when,
talking
like,
about the end?
Like, you don't remember when, what's his name, Groogy? I think it was around the
Groogy.
time where Groogy fell into the cauldron and everything like that, and then the other dude got sucked into it and it caused a massive explosion, and they were running out of the, like, castle.
Oh, I'm thinking
which-
of the original escape from the castle. Okay.
Yeah, which that scene also, like I said, that scene didn't annoy me, it just sounded funny, but the thing that annoyed me within the scene of that scene was, he told them to go. He's like, go with the old dude, leave. And then as he's trying to escape now, after, you know, the Horn King got sucked into the pot, or cauldron, he starts running and calling for their name, and they're standing over to the left.
That
And he
was
runs
weird.
over there, he
I
grabs her and
I
starts
didn't
running with her. I'm
understand
like,
that. That was
why
odd.
would you not just go the way she went? I felt like that was the safer route.
Yeah, he told them to leave, and then they were there, and he was looking for him, and I was like, wait a second, you told them to leave, and I was like, oh, well, they're there, and now they're running towards danger instead of where they are. Yeah, I get what you're saying. That was awful.
They are quite the...
But it like I was telling you guys, this, I don't understand if I like this or if I hate it or if I'm in the middle. So I'm just gonna have to give it a 5 because I don't know.
Give it 6.
You said 6. 6. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. To all.
That's fine.
It's crazy. That's funny.
I think it fits.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm so ill prepared all the time. Copy. Paste. Come on. Delete. Okay. 5 and Dequan said 6.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with a 7 on this.
Wow.
Oh, I feel so much better right now.
I was scared.
I was having PTSD. Like, oh, here we go again.
What, you enjoyed it?
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It is cheesy. There are some scenes that are just weird, but for some reason, it didn't come off as like bad. It came off as charming. I felt like watching this and seeing a lot of scenes, especially when they're like, I have to go to the castle. You can see how like there's separation from the background. I don't know why. It felt like better, like watching it.
Yeah,
Like-
I really liked a lot of the animation in this one.
Mm-hmm. Like this was just, I feel like just such a charming movie to watch. I just felt, I don't know how to describe it. I was like, I love the fact that it just feels so different. It feels so wonky. It feels so just weird, and it's so cool for that.
Yeah, it felt out of place for Disney, but in the right way. Not for everybody, but it was dark, and it wasn't like super humorous, but it had its moments.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I just thoroughly, I will say, enjoyed this movie a lot, and I'm like, I've never seen it, so this was the first watch for me, which there might be a few later on, I don't remember, but it was good. I liked it, and I'm giving it a 9.
Wow. All right. So the storyline and plot. Does anyone want to wrap up the storyline in a quick synopsis? What is it
I guess
called?
you could say it's simply the hero's tale.
And it's like supposed to be the hero's tale, but ended up being like the friends you made along the way.
It's like the hero's tale, but you take out the fact that he has to be the chosen one.
Yeah. So this says, in the land of Pryden, lowly pig herder Terran dreams of becoming a gallant knight. Young Terran receives his heroic calling when the evil Horned King kidnaps Henrin, a prophesying pig. that had been entrusted to Terran. Now, with the help from his furry sidekick Guri and Princess Ilanwi, it's spelled with an E, so we were both wrong.
I knew it!
I was right! It's Princess L!
Terran must locate the magical black cauldron before the Horned King is able to use its mystical powers to summon an army of the undead.
Correction. I think what was it called again? Crap, I forgot. It was something born. Cauldron born?
That's a pretty sweet name for an army.
Yeah, that's
It was. I was like, dude, that's such a cool name. The Cauldron born.
That's pretty. I missed that, and that's incredible. But the pig was magic. What? Okay, that came out of left field.
The pig was an oracle, basically.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a quick little thing. I got tripped up by that pig. So you know when you go to click on the movie, right, and it shows the cover, it shows the main kid and then the princess, right? Yep. And when I saw the pig and I saw it had blue eyes, I was like, dude, is the princess hiding out as a pig? Like transformed as a pig and she's gonna transform into the pig to transform into her later? Because he's like, this pig is, his like, I don't know what you'd call him, the older guy that he was staying with.
Well, he was an assistant pig herder, so he was just a pig herder.
Okay, yeah, the pig herder guy. He was like, this pig is special, and you'll know why later. And I'm like, because it's the princess. And then when the princess just showed up after the pig was gone, I'm like, oh, never mind. I just got tripped up. That's great.
I didn't even know there was a princess.
I didn't know if she was a princess till they said it. I just knew there was a girl on the front cover.
Oh, I didn't look at the cover. I just kind of clicked play.
So, another problem I had... Well, I mean, I guess I didn't have a problem with the pig being magic. It just caught me off guard. The old man told him to hide and don't come back until he comes to find him, and then sends him off with 1 apple and a slice of bread. I was like, oh, okay, so 1 apple and a loaf of bread, that's pretty terrible. And then he just cuts a slice off of it, and I was like, oh, even worse.
Yeah, like, what the pig gonna eat?
Yeah, that was odd.
Well, the apple was for the pig.
The apple was for Gurgi.
I was saying the apple was for Gurgi.
Nah.
See, why didn't the old man go with him?
Who knows? Maybe because he thought that the Horned King was going to come for him.
He's got to herd those pigs.
You know?
Yeah, the prophecy
a lot
didn't
of
have him in the
attention.
picture.
You just sent him off. Have fun.
Child, go away with this pig.
Yeah, that was
Make
an
sure
awful
he can't
plan.
find the pig.
Because within 5 minutes, that dummy got lost in his ego and lost the damn pig.
Yeah, that bothered me
It
too.
was so quick that he stopped paying attention to the pig and lost him.
Well, he did tell the pig to stay. He was like, stay put, or stay with me, and I'll protect you. Then ran away.
To be fair, I will say this. That did bother me as well. Like, I was annoyed at him, but then I sat down and I thought about it. I'm a little bit more annoyed at the pig, because when she's at the house, she's chilling. She's not walking off nowhere. But now you want to choose to walk off randomly?
After she damn near had a panic attack of envisioning whatever she was envisioning at that moment.
Yeah, but then he doubles down on it, because when he's looking for the pig, Gurgi steals his apple, and he just forgets all about the pig. He just wants his apple back.
Yeah, true. That's all he had to eat. Remember?
Well,
I
think
apple was for the pig.
You got an apple
He's
over
using
here.
that to bait the pig out.
You got an apple over here, or a extremely important magical pig. The apple seems more important.
Kid, and he just got jumped by some random furry creature that stole his bait to bring back the pig. So in his mind, it's like, I need to get the apple back because the apple's what's going to bring the pig back. I just got robbed by some furry thing. Give me it back.
See, that's cool and all, but I like to believe that he thought to himself, I can't save the pig if I die from starvation. I need that apple.
I would agree if he was trying to eat the apple himself.
I mean, he was mad when the bite was taken out of it. So
It was
he
for the
clearly wanted
pig.
to eat that apple. I mean, the pig wouldn't have minded if a bite was bitten out of it. The pig would have still ate it.
Oh, I would. It's like it's not matter if it's for me or not. It's like this is for like someone who I'm trying to find, and someone who just stole it just nabs a big old bite out of the side of it. Like, are you kidding me?
You know, you would be a pig with high standards. Me, on the other hand,
No, I'm not the
eat
pig,
that
I'm
half
the person with the apple. I'm the kid.
Better than that slop.
Oh, that slop was bad. No, I'm saying from the perspective of the kid, not the perspective of the pig. If I was the pig, I mean, I'm a pig. I don't care. You put food in front of me, I'm gonna eat it. I'm a pig.
The party of bad guys was pretty cool. There were lots of interesting characters, and then when they all froze in place and the menacing music started playing and the Horn King showed up with fog, and his entrance was nuts.
I loved his voice.
Yeah,
it was so
design too.
He was great. He's great. I love him as a villain, and I'm sad because he doesn't get enough attention because he's such a cool villain.
Yeah, we'll touch more on him in the characters section. What? So why didn't Terran? That's his name, right? Why didn't Terran just jump right after the pig when he pushed him off the ledge?
I think he was trying to.
He learned his lesson from last time.
That's not my note. I'm sorry. Why didn't the bad guys just jump off the ledge after he pushed the pig off the ledge?
Bro, you try jumping off a ledge after a pig.
The kid was about to do it.
Go around. That's good for the kid. Yeah, I'm telling you, that takes a lot of guts.
So would you rather
to be honest, jumping towards that was stupid, but it was the only way.
Would you rather face the wrath of the Horn King for not capturing the pig, or jump off the castle?
The most he's going to do is strangle me.
Well, I thought he killed that goblin right then. When he strangled him and then dropped he was like, and then he dropped him, I thought he was dead.
Hey, I'm just saying, I would rather get choked out by the Horned King to death than jump off the edge of a castle that is right next to water and rocks and possibly
the pig lived,
die by that, or survive in great pain.
The pig was completely fine.
Yeah,
that's a magical pig.
I have a question, right? This is still within the confines of this topic, but like towards like the nearest end, my brain and my vision just went dark. I think I just passed out for a split second. What happened to the pig? I just know at the end of the movie the pig is there. So like, but
so the pig somehow
the pig weren't there.
The pig runs away and then the fairies get it.
The fairies. The fairy king says he's going to return the pig.
Yeah, they said that
the fairies. That's where I passed out. I passed out when I saw the fairies.
Yeah, the fairies said that they'll get the pig home safe.
Yeah.
Oh, he trusted them. Couldn't
Dang, you passed out after seeing Tinkerbell's ancestors show up.
That goblin had a whole cart of bodies, huh?
Yeah.
To try to please the Horn King.
Cauldron born.
That was crazy. And then this was odd. What was the deal with the magic harp?
It was like Pinocchio, but instead of increasing the length of your nose, it broke, letting you know how bad of a liar you are.
Yeah.
So why?
To be honest, that was its only purpose, and never even got used or played or anything. It just broke whenever he lied. That's all it was there for. Wait a minute! Oh, wait! Yo, because that's not just a harp. I think there's another term for a word for that called the lyre.
Yes.
Wow.
That's where you're looking for.
Oh, it's meta! Oh! Oh, that's cool.
That is pretty sweet.
Also, something I noticed as the Chosen One goes through this movie, he quite literally builds a D&D team.
Right.
Him as the hero, then you have your bard, then you have your mage, you have your little goblin creature thing.
Rogue.
I wouldn't call him a rogue. He was a goblin creature thing.
He stole. He repeatedly kept stealing stuff. That's a rogue. He just,
Where was his daggers?
Not all rogues use daggers.
He doesn't need daggers.
Actually, a main time in D&D, like, to my understanding, very classic D&D, which probably would have been around that time, rogues used arrows. They didn't necessarily use daggers.
Where's his arrows?
He didn't have them. He's not an aggressive rogue. He's a coward, remember? He doesn't fight. He just runs. He steals and runs.
So speaking of Gurgi, when the witches said that a living being needs to go into the cauldron, he immediately was like, okay, I'll get in there, not knowing why he needed to go in there.
Wait, you cut out.
What happened?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was just saying that Gurgi, when the witches, right?
Yep.
When they said that a living being needs to go in the cauldron, he just immediately offered to go in it. He'll be like, I'll climb in it. I'm living. And they, without even knowing why he needed to go in it.
And he was like, you won't come back. He's like, you know what? Never mind.
He's just what I guess you'd call a... I was going to say himbo, but he doesn't really fit the himbo. He's just like... he's just free-spirited. Like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'm okay with going in. Oh, wait, I died. Never mind. I don't want to go in.
I loved, in all caps, when Taryn said that, what does a girl know about a sword anyways? And then she put him in his place. And she was like, this girl got you out of the castle. Man, Taryn got...
See, I love that. I love that.
He got put in his place there. It was great.
But then he retaliated by being a terrible person.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, they kept, dumping on his parade that he was excited. He's always dreamed of being a hero with the sword. He finally got to live that dream out of excitement. And they basically were like, oh, you got to stop with that. Oh, calm down. It's all the sword. Like, dang, thanks for taking a dump on me. Why don't I take a dump on you back?
Yeah.
You see, but like what they were speaking was kind of true, though.
I'm in shock and awe.
But yeah, so like we said that they were trying to stop the cauldron, but then they found out that the cauldron couldn't be destroyed. It could only be stopped, and it had to be from a sacrifice, which I thought was odd on why none of them just they all just were like, oh, I guess that's the end of the mission. Like, why did they didn't discuss sacrificing anyone or nothing? They were just like, well, that's it.
Hold up, I want to go back to that previous scene real fast. I just realized you guys loved when he got owned, but you didn't like when he realized, okay, maybe I said something too far, and basically went and apologized.
He never
You
apologized.
only liked when he got dumped
He never
on?
apologized.
Hold on, I
He
know
never
you said
apologized.
basically. I know you said basically, which green lights he didn't directly apologize, but I'm still gonna say he didn't apologize.
He
did not
came
take
over
accountability.
and was like, thanks for saving me.
Yeah, that's not an
That is
apology,
a
buddy.
clear as day apology.
That's a
especially when
man's
you are
apology.
being shy.
Yeah.
That's a Mr.
I'm
Man's
not-
apology.
You guys just hate him. That's crazy. I don't
That's,
believe
that's
this. I'm
gonna
about
be
to
a
walk
no for
away.
me, dog.
The biasness is insane. I'm reliving PTSD again. When they just clearly hate someone, they hate. Anyways, what were you saying with the Black Cauldron?
I don't know. When they found out that they had to sacrifice someone to stop it, they were all just like, well, that's the end of the mission. And they were just
no one was
accepting
really-
If you think about it, they really are good people, because I personally would have talked to somebody else too. I'm like, yo, if you go inside this cauldron, you can find mad gold.
You hear this? You hear this, people? Everyone listening? He doesn't like the main character, but he's willing to do that. Don't take his
To
side.
save the world, absolutely.
No heroism.
Then the bad guys found them and Gurgi ran away, but then he came back and apologized for being scared. That was great. And then when towards the end when what's his name? Taryn was trying to sacrifice himself, Gurgi yeeted himself into him to stop him and then sacrificed himself. Oh jeez, what a hero that guy was.
True
That
act of
again.
heroism coming from a coward.
He was the hero that Taryn wanted to be.
That again reminded me of Lord of the
I'm
Rings.
listening, I'm hearing, I'm getting PTSD. I'm about to knock on your door. They're all heroes in the end, no matter what Joey and Dino say. No, I know what your thoughts are, though. I've already heard where your emotions lie.
I was laughing because I saw the route Joey was going, and I felt the giggles approaching as well.
I know where your head is. I just see it.
I thought the way that the Horn Kings... Oh, go for it.
Oh, I was going to say, I'll say this. He's a much better character than Pan. We'll say that.
It's not even a bad character!
Hold on. Go back to that scene. The scene that you're talking about when he throws himself off the cliff into the cauldron, right?
Right.
Did nobody else get Lord of the Ring vibes there?
Yeah, I did. The
But
whole
reverse?
thing of on the edge, like
So-
being on the edge of that cliff, I was like, or the building thing. It's not really a cliff, but representing it basically. I feel.
So I have to be honest here. I had never seen The Lord of the Rings.
You know, it's okay, Joey, because I've only watched one Lord of the Rings movie, and that was this year.
I used to watch them all the time, and I thought they were awesome, but my younger cousin also thought they were awesome, but refused to watch anything other than the fight scenes. So I've seen all the fight scenes like 100 times, but I've never seen the movie.
Kevin, we're the only two that know.
I guess so.
Oh, but yes, I'm on the same boat as you, Kevin. That's where a lot of it was coming from. Like, oh, this is like really like Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Well, weren't the books finished in the 70s or something like that? So maybe this drew heavy.
You got inspiration from it?
I believe so. Actually, Disney tried. The guy that did the animation for the Lord of the Rings movie, the animated Lord of the Rings movie, Disney tried to hire him for this movie. But he rejected the job because he didn't think his work was appropriate for children.
So The Lord of the Rings came out in The Fellowship of the Ring 1954, Two Towers 1955, and The Return of the King 1955. So, a long time ago. So they probably took inspiration from that. But I thought the way that the Horn King started to die, like getting sucked into it, like a stupid villain. I don't know where I was going with that. I thought that was super lame, but then it got real gnarly real quick.
I would say this. Wait, can't say this based on art style and character, so I would not.
Okay.
One thing I was confused about. So they said the only way to break the cauldron was for someone to sacrifice himself in it.
The only way to
someone
stop
sacrificed. Okay, yeah, stop it, because that's right. They said that you can't break it, but stop it. Why did it just suddenly become like a black hole trying to suck up everything? I thought it would just stop like it did.
Plot.
Then it was like,
because that made
I'm
no
just
sense.
sucking everything in. I was so confused by it. I'm like, when did it say it was gonna do this?
Yeah, that
Maybe
was
it was looking for the source of evil, and it wasn't going to stop it. Got it.
That was 100% plot convenience because it made no sense. And then they showed the Horn King get sucked into it, like when his skin was melting off. Oh my gosh, that was insane.
Which is crazy because I thought he didn't have no skin to begin with.
Yeah. And then he got sucked in, and then it collapsed into the ground, and stuff was getting sucked in. It showed Terran running around it, cut back to the cauldron, and there was just a dragon there getting sucked in. Where did the dragon come from? The dragons were nowhere around there.
Maybe they're like sleeping under the castle.
Maybe.
You know, now that I've learned this bit of knowledge, those aren't dragons. Those are wyverns.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but I'll go with it.
So a wyvern is a dragon that only has 2 legs, and it uses its wings to like walk and fly, basically. Dragons have 4 legs and wings, and then there's a drake, which is basically a dragon but with no wings.
It's a T-Rex.
A T-Rex?
Except it crawls instead of walks on 2 legs. Walks on 4 legs.
Okay.
Unless you're talking about Maple Story.
Then they were sailing for who knows how long, and the cauldron just happens to pop up next to them. Then the witches show up, so I guess you can probably just say they brought it to them. whatever.
A lot of plot convenience happens at the end.
And then I liked that he turned down the power sword and asked for Gurgi back. That
My
was
thing
cool.
is, I don't understand those witches. Why do they even want the sword?
Who knows? Plot convenience.
Because
Like,
it's
they
magic.
just- they weren't
It's a
even
magic
know.
they don't have.
See, it's a magic they don't have. They didn't even really want it. They just didn't want them to have it. They were just taken.
Yeah, but
No,
if
see,
the Black
that is
Cauldron
completely
is-
wrong because the second she saw the sword, she was like, I must have it. She got, like, infatuated with greed about having it.
But if the Black Cauldron is the most powerful thing in this universe, then why trade it for a sword?
Maybe the sword can break it. Because I thought that's what it was supposed to do. I thought with the magic sword, they'd break it. So when he was saying, I'm going to give you the magic sword, I'm like, wait, then how are you planning to break this thing? I thought the sword was supposed to be the key to it. No, I took the sword out of play. You know, the more I think about it, this is really like a D&D campaign. That is something a DM would do. You have this almighty sword. Well, here's someone who's going to make you have to give it up. Now you don't have the almighty sword.
Oh, so what you're saying is that... No, hear me out. So who's the real dungeon master? Is it the old guy at the cabin? Or is it the witches?
I think if we were to say it's a character in their world that's being a DM, it's the pig.
It's the pig.
It's the pig.
I mean, when you think about it, the pig did write the script.
Showed
So-
everything that happened. I even found it kind of cool. I mean, this is kind of going back to a scene when the pig first looks and it's like, oh, the pig's running in the water and it's being surrounded by like, what was the wyverns that were surrounding it. Literally in the scene when it happens, it's like you can see in the shadows they really surround the pig like in the water. I was like, oh, that's cool.
So, D&D came out in 1974 and it became popular in the 80s, so it's very possible.
It's okay,
very
guys.
possible.
Or to pick them up.
I heard something about
What-
1970.
Yeah, you keep cutting out, Mike. Or Joey.
I'm not cutting out. I hear myself perfectly fine.
I love it, the confidence.
D&D came out in 1974 and became popular in the 80s.
That it
Yeah,
did.
I know
It is
it
very
became
popular
popular.
nowadays.
It did become popular.
It definitely became
It
popular.
became popular.
In the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's great.
He came back with such authority in the 80s.
When they were bringing Gurgi back, my wife was like,
Gurgi?
Gurgi.
I thought you said Gertie. Sorry.
when they were bringing Gurgi back, my wife was like, plot twist. What if they just give him his dead body?
Bro!
I mean, she was half right.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, they actually did, because it took him a while to come back to life.
Bros and jet lag.
That man was faking it so he could try to look for more munches and crunches.
For this, there's so much that I like and so much that I don't like, but I think there's a little bit more that I like than I dislike. There's a lot of plot convenience, though. I think I'm going to give it a 6.
This is for the plot, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the plot a 5.
For plot, storyline plot, let's go with sorry, I'm having a hard time with this one. I'm gonna go with the 6. I'll give it a 6.
Here comes Mike with a 10.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not a 10. I can't give it a 10.
It's gonna be
I
an
can
8.
excuse... Huh?
It's gonna be an 8.
Oh, you're close, because I am leaning more towards an 8. I was thinking maybe a 9, because it's just because of how much I enjoyed it, but I think fairly it's an 8. There's a lot of random plot convenience that happens and a lot of points, which matches it very well to being a D&D styled movie, but that's just because that's how I'm thinking of the movie and maybe not exactly what they were trying to do. And the plot convenience at the end with the cauldron becoming a black hole, I'm like, I just don't understand why.
Yeah. So, next up is characters. The characters in the opening scene had good designs, like the herder, the pig, Terran, the cat. I liked the cat. And then the Horn King's reveal was mad menacing. That dude, as we said, that dude just he is great. That is a design.
I like the way he said it.
Dequan, you were going to say something about him in the last segment. Did you want to say it now, or?
So, I liked his design all the way up until he got like sucked into the cauldron, and it's because like his eyes, like his sockets didn't have anything; it was just black, and then like his pupils were red.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the end of the movie, his sockets were red and his pupils were black, and I just thought that was a worse design for his eyes. It just made him look weird, and I hated it.
My last note for this segment is when the Horn King's eyes went red, he became way less menacing.
I 100% agree, but that's what happens sometimes when you just get so angry. You know, your eyes just turn red, and suddenly you're sometimes not as menacing anymore.
Yeah, he looked kind of dumb when that happened, but everything else was mad cool. Like he always had his face, not always, but the majority of the time he was talking to like his subordinates, his face was like shadowed, or the camera will always have only half of his body showing, but never his head.
Yeah.
Showing just like how, like, I feel like it was their way of showing how everyone viewed him. Like they were afraid to look directly at him.
Could be.
Maybe. I loved Gurgi's design, but his voice recording, as we said, was awful. And why was he outlined in blue for like half the movie? He had like a blue outline around him.
I didn't even notice he had a blue outline.
The only time I noticed an outline, but it was on him and what's his name? Terrence?
Terrence.
Call him Terrence.
I don't know.
Him and Terrence, when they're looking out at the castle on the background, that's the only time I noticed their outlines.
Because they had, none of them had outlines. Except maybe a few scenes they did, but he had an outline almost all the time, and most of the time it was blue. It wasn't black or gray. It was blue, and it was odd. The Goblin was a great designed character. I really liked that guy.
The Goblin confused me. So
which Goblin?
Like,
Creeper?
Yeah.
Yeah, Creeper.
Okay.
Creeper.
Yeah, the Mind Goblin.
I was confused by Creeper because unless he was bounded to the Horn King, he was excited when he died.
Yeah.
But like, which makes me believe that he was bound to him, because if you didn't like working him, you could have left the castle. Nobody's making you stay.
I'm pretty sure the Horned King was making him stay.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, you know, he's terrified of him. Under him, he's like partially safe because he doesn't have to worry about him really like coming after him if he tries to run away. So essentially, he's like a captive.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, gotta be excited for when your ruler, your king shows up. He's absolutely terrified because he always gets abused and blamed for everything that happens. Whether it's his fault or not, he just gets beat up for it.
I swear, I thought he choked him to death in that scene. I thought he was just
so true. But the thing is, like, the Horned King gave this man like free reign around, like walking around the castle. He pretty much gave him free reign anywhere, really. He just needed him to do what he needed him to do.
And then imagine if he doesn't show up one day. He just notices he's gone. You don't think he's gonna be like, oh, so you think you can come run? Now it's about to be worse for you. It's like, as long as I stay here, I'm like partially safe.
I'm gonna burrow underground, bro. Come find me.
He probably would.
I don't think it would have been that easy to get away from the castle.
Like, I'm gonna go look for the pig.
Oh, also, all the people, if any of the guards saw him, like, they kind of treated him like, you know,
actually, now I'm confused. So in the beginning, when they first show him, he's kind of being treated like a punching bag by all the guys. But then it comes to like the one dude who's like hauling all the bodies, and then suddenly he's like in charge of the people. Like,
well, because that guy wasn't one of the people. That guy was a captive.
Okay.
He didn't have any clothes on. You didn't notice that?
I noticed he had white robe.
He had a white loincloth.
Yeah, like a toga or tunic or something like that. That's what I was just thinking. I'm like, to be fair, none of them were really wearing the best of clothes. They were kind of wearing like tattered garbs.
Yeah. Elanwi was funny to me. The whole movie I was trying to figure out who she reminded me of, and all I could come up with is that she had the
you were trying to figure
out who she reminded me of.
Okay.
And all I could come up with was that she had the same type of naive confidence that Starfire in Teen Titans had.
I thought you were going to say Aurora.
Maybe. But
you know something about her, Joey, that bothered me? I liked everything about her character, but when we first come across her, she's using magic, right?
Yep.
So we're just going to abandon the idea of magic.
Well, she didn't use magic. That thing that she found was using magic.
Yeah, she never really used any magic. She just had she had a Navi.
I thought she had conjured that thing.
That was the other thing that made me think of Zelda. Was she had like a little fairy that was like kind of like Navi.
Okay, that makes more sense now. I thought she had conjured the little fairy ball thing.
Yep. Dequan,
to be fair, we really don't know if she did or did she just find it. They just like show that it's basically with her, and she says it's magic. What's the only thing that annoyed me was, so you have this flying ball that you are literally saying it's magic. The second he says, "Oh, I have a pig that can see kind of the future," you're like, "Oh, that," like she laughs at it like it's a joke. It's like, lady, do you not notice the flying ball that's literally getting aggressive at rats next to you? And you're calling it magic? How are you going to laugh and scoff at that? Come on now.
The fairies were awesome. I liked them. Especially the yellow guy. What was his name? Golly?
You know, I was misled by the fairies as well again. So when the fairies showed up, I thought, oh, okay, so there's 4 of them, and there's these 4 fairies. The fairies are going to give them some kind of power to be able to combat the king. No, completely wrong. Mixed up and again.
The witches were odd, especially the one that was very horny. Why in the world did they have that frog fall in her boobs?
You know, I was questioning that scene as well. I was like, that's interesting.
They had a few little nods towards things like that in this movie.
Yeah.
Same with like the lady that was dancing.
Yeah, I have notes about her in Legacy. Oh. She's going to take some notes. She's going to take some points away from Legacy when we get there.
Yeah. I won't go in too much on it, but I was like, there's something that should be here.
Something happened.
What? What happened? Or you just...
No, that. I'm saying about that scene. Something happened.
The last note I have, Mike's going to like. Terran was very narcissistic. It's not even his sword, and he wouldn't give it up. That's all he needed to get the Black Cauldron, and he wouldn't give it up. And then plus he took credit for what the sword was doing. He didn't do anything.
Wait, I can't hear anything Joey's saying, but I already know it's a load of crap.
What did you guys hear?
I can't hear anything he's saying, but I already know it's a load of crap. 100%.
Look, all that matters is the recording is picking up Joey's voice.
Yeah. Is it though?
No, it is. The last time this happened, it picked up his voice too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why'd you say yeah like that? Yeah.
Did you hear me say that Terran was narcissistic?
I heard that. I'm already thinking load of crap. But continue.
We didn't hear your explanation.
He didn't give his sword up, even though it wasn't his.
I'm pretty positive he did give the sword
up.
He
did. He had to get convinced about it.
And I'm pretty positive the one you're also not getting anything at, the princess was even saying, "Don't do it."
And then he was taking credit for the sword, even though the sword was doing all the work and he wasn't doing anything.
To be fair, if he didn't wield the sword or take it, it wouldn't have been able to do anything for them, and then they would have been screwed.
Okay, but the little harp dude.
How much more do you want to take away from him?
And I mean, I'd be hesitant to give it up too. I mean, it saved all of their lives.
And it's magic!
And got them in the position that they were in. You don't know what they plan to do with it. You just heard they turned people into frogs! That they want to eat them! Why would you give a magic sword up to them?
Because they're going to give you the Black Cauldron.
Yeah, they give me the tool that I'm supposed to use. Like I need that cauldron to stop the world from blowing up.
But what if it wasn't selfish reasons? What if he was like, oh, but you know what, man, I was going to use this sword to try to destroy the cauldron.
Honestly, that's what I was thinking the whole time.
Or at least help protect it.
Use it to break the cauldron.
Because he never was able to use the sword against the Horned King.
That's a possibility, but going off his character traits and personality, that's highly not.
Wow, so we're assuming
he's
now.
Not
okay.
even narcissistic.
I think he just had very
dreams
narcissistic
of being a hero,
tendencies.
and he wants to be strong and be a hero. He wants to be a renowned knight. How is that narcissistic? Narcissistic would be him saying, "I'm the best out there. I can beat anybody and do anything I can, and no one can stop me."
Well, I mean,
never once does he do that.
Yeah, he did. He said that he wasn't afraid of the Horn King and that he could take care of
That
him.
is not the same thing. That is not the same thing.
I will say this: he did bully those defenseless animals at the farm.
That wasn't even bullying. He's a kid playing around.
And then he got by that goat.
See, that goat was.
And even then, he didn't even get upset. He played with it like, oh,
which I thought was
fallen.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah,
that shows he's playing around. He's not a bad kid. Why do y'all hate him?
See, look, what I'm doing is I'm pointing out his flaws and accepting some of his flaws. See, you're not even accepting none of his flaws.
Because they're not flaws. Oh no, a kid who dreams of being a hero is playing around with animals. And then the one hits him back and he's just like, it's fine. Because he's playing around. They didn't even get abused. They didn't get hurt. Nothing like it.
He scared the crap out of the pig. And the pig was terrified. And he mocked the pig for being scared.
Unbelievable. The amount of hatred you have is insane.
That's actual facts, though. That's not even hate.
If that pig was that terrified, it would not have come back that easily. You could say it got scared for a second because a stick got pointed at it. I'm pretty sure most people would react that way if a stick was randomly pointed at them.
I don't think most people will run and hide and squeal.
It's also an animal, so it's probably going to go a little defensive.
Yeah, and on top of that, again, it's an animal. Animals are more forgiving. So, of course, the pig's going to come back out when there's a person who's been taking care of them the majority of the time.
Maybe because it knows, man, he's not really a bad person who's trying to hurt me. Startled me for a second. I'm going to run and hide. Okay, now I'm okay.
And then he mocked the pig. Why would he make fun of the pig for being scared?
He's a kid.
I don't think that's reasonable enough.
It's not even like he was being like hateful or vengeful. He wasn't even being like mean. He wasn't like being like, I'm gonna make fun of you because I'm just a jerk. If that's the case, then anytime anyone has made fun in this crawl, we're all jerks.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I bet you would. I bet you would. You want it to fill your little vendetta, your little script here, your little story. You're like, I want to get whatever I can to make my points real. When they're full of baloney, extra baloney too.
Not baloney, but like if you notice, like I would say this. So once again, he lashed out at what's her name, the princess, which in your defense, she kept downplaying his feats, but he was over exaggerating his feats at the same time. So there's some 50-50 there, right?
I see no problem in wanting to hype yourself up. I see more problem in wanting to tear someone down.
See, it's the ego.
And even then, I even thought, okay, you kind of did a jerk move when he yelled at her about, like, what does a girl know about a sword? I'm like, okay, you made a mistake there, buddy. That's not cool. And then he went back and basically, in his own way apologized, like saying like thanks for saving me, because he didn't give her that credit before. Then he saw what he did that hurt her.
Not an apology.
I consider it an apology.
He did double down on like the whole girl thing by also calling her something princess. I don't remember the words exactly, but he doubled down.
Something princess.
Yeah. I don't want to make up stuff, so I just said something because I don't remember exactly what it was. But
pretty princess.
No, he said even if she's a princess. Basically getting at just because she's royalty, I'm not gonna, do this. It wasn't at the fact that she's a girl the second time. The second time is because she's royalty, because he says like even though she's a princess.
Bro, just needed to chill out.
Kevin, what are your thoughts?
Mission.
I don't know. I'm kind of I don't know. I see both sides. I'm siding a little more with Mike.
You liked Peter Pan too, didn't you?
Oh man, another character who didn't do anything wrong and instead was just thrown on with a label because people wanted, because you guys wanted that? That's crazy.
Hold on. You're right. All right, look. Peter Pan was cold. Wow, this kid here, this kid's an actual present. He's a rough present, but he can be better. Peter Pan he has no chance. He has no chance in being better. It's just bad people.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, Kevin
100%.
gave Peter Pan a 6 in characters. He had the lowest rating, so maybe he didn't. But
don't be putting words in Kevin's mouth.
Yeah, sorry. I only liked Gurgi. The Elanmi was alright, and the Horn King was awesome. So I'm gonna give him a 4. Hello?
Dino?
Kevin?
Dequan? No Dequan? Okay, Dequan's gone. I'm gonna go. Characters. I like the characters. I like the diversity. I like the different styles. I like the... I mean, it kind of ties into animation, but I liked that they were out of the box and there was a good variety. You got to see a little bit of everything. Yes, it was all around dark. Well, I feel like I'm talking about animation right now. Characters. I'm gonna go with 6.
Nice.
I was grabbing my food off the porch.
Oh, you got some DoorDash? What'd you get?
I got a spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what would you give the characters out of 10?
I'm gonna give the characters a 6.
Okay. Mike?
I'm actually stuck because I don't know if I want to give him an 8 or a 9. I think I'm gonna give him a 9.
All right. So we're on to visuals and animation. My first note is about the pig getting the water poured on him and there being no sound effect. I already mentioned that. The water vision scene was pretty cool. That was a cool animation, I think.
So there was one part of animation. Well, there's a couple. I really liked the animation in this, right? The use of colors, right? It was like I had just said, it was dark all around, but the splashes of bright, vibrant color, like at the end with the when the army was dying because of the cauldron basically sucking everything in.
Yep.
The purples going off of them, basically showing the magic leaving them. The bright green smoke pouring out of the cauldron. all that was fabulous. But there was one scene that stuck out toward the beginning. I think it was the first or second time they showed the castle.
Yes.
And with the lightning on the castle, and like it was the different depths of the field of view, and it just that part right there, I had to pause it and rewind it. I rewound it twice. I watched it 3 times. Had to bring the wife in. It was like, look at this. This is stunning. Bravo.
Kevin, I have a question.
What?
Are you talking about the part where like he's standing outside of the castle, like on the cliff, or are you talking about when the camera is panning up the castle?
When the camera is panning up the castle, it's just the castle in on the screen.
Okay. No, I have a question for you, because you mentioned this the last time. It looked like it was some CGI used in there. Was there some CGI?
Yeah, that
used
did
in
look
this movie?
CGI.
Yes. So this was. Okay, I'm not going to say that this was the first one, because the last movie was the first one to use, Fox and the Hound was the first one to use CGI, but this one, the reason why its budget was so high was because of how much they actually did use CGI.
Okay.
More so, like a lot of the parts that they used the CGI for in this one was like bubbles, the floating orb of light.
Okay.
That was purely CGI, and anything with like the cauldron itself was all CGI.
Okay, cool.
So I have a question. Do you just know all of this offhand, or do you research before episodes?
I do some research.
Okay. It wouldn't have surprised me if you knew all that. Yeah, that scene was pretty cool with the, like you said, the field of view and whatnot. But I do agree with, I like the style of it, the colors, how it's dark and how it's bright in other areas, but I just think it was done so poorly that I can't say that I liked the animation. The POV chase with the dragon when he was chasing the pig, that was awesome. But they didn't bother to animate anything other than the pig and the claws. He was just running on brown with a few lines that were supposed to represent grass every now and again. If they would have animated the grass during that scene would have been incredible.
The thing I have to say about the animation for this, I wouldn't say I loved it. I like it a little less than the previous movies, but I would say from the standpoint of like scenery and like just pictures and shots and wallpapers, it absolutely kills at that.
Yeah.
Like almost every like still image can be a really good wallpaper.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also say I'm taking into account, like, this is the first movie after the Don Bluth mass exodus of all the big animators from Disney. So they had very, very minimal, very few animators working on this film.
So this is when Don Bluth started releasing movies that were just dominating Disney.
Yeah, because Fox and the Hound was the last one that he worked on.
They did a great job with the little team they had.
When he cut the chain during the escape and he was flying up and the drawbridge was opening, that was pretty cool animation. That might have been CGI. The shot of the valley was really good. I don't remember when that happened, but it was cool. If you guys remember it.
I don't, but you mentioned the drawbridge, and I thought it was really cool. Like you said, when the drawbridge dropped, they showed and displayed how much force the drawbridge had by showing the weapons fall out of it and pop out of the drawbridge. I thought that was cool.
The magic whirlpool was neat. I liked the scene when all the fairies came out of their area and they were coming up through the hole and they were all just sparkly and glowy. That was cool. The Cauldron awakening, that was pretty cool too, with all the green flowing out of it. Kevin mentioned that already. And then the Cauldron-born army was pretty unique. Like, there were some shots where they were like iridescent almost. That was pretty sweet.
So I
also think it's kind of cool how they basically, if I understood it correctly, when they attack someone, they turn them also into a Cauldron born.
Yeah.
Because
cool, I don't know. Well, yes and no. It wasn't them attacking them that turned them. It's that they killed them and they fell into the mist.
They got killed, and then you kind of see like their body form into like the Cauldron born.
Yeah. So
Tim Burton did a lot of the animation in this one.
Tim Burton is a pretty dark dude, so that makes sense.
Yes.
I wonder why this movie looks so good.
Yeah, it fit him perfectly. But actually, there's a lot of controversy about that because a lot of his scenes were cut.
Ooh.
And all the other animators loved them. Like, loved the scenes that were cut. Didn't know why they were cut. They shouldn't have been. This and that. But actually, a lot of his major scenes being cut is what made him leave. I believe this is the last Disney movie that he worked on for the time, at least.
Why is this just... Mike, are you typing numbers in here?
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry.
So
Actually, I'm not.
They lose Don Bluth, and then their best guy they piss off and make him leave.
Yep.
Smart.
But the fans, everybody learned about this, and they want like a Tim Burton cut. They want this to be re-released, and they want his scenes that were cut from the film.
Well, it's been 40 years. It's not happening.
Yeah, you never know.
It's not happening. 40 years.
Could be in the archives. Could be in the archives.
If Tim Burton says, Disney, I'll give you $500 million for all of the footage for this movie and I'll release it, then they'll do it.
We didn't hear what you said.
I don't think Disney's going to do that for $5, bro.
I said, Tim Burton, if he goes, I'll give you like $200 million for all of my footage and I'll release it myself, then they'll do it. They're not going to release something that they have no hope of it making any money. The original didn't make any money. They're not going to re-release it.
I don't know. This film is actually still in talks about getting
the live action.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people want. I'll talk more about it in Legacy. Maybe I won't. I'll just talk about it here. Is a lot of people don't want like The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. They don't want these types of movies remade. They want The Black Cauldron and Atlantis, the ones that didn't do so well. They want those ones remastered.
Yeah. Is it killing you guys too?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
All right, it's not that important. I'll move on. What are we on? The animation? I'm giving animation a 3 or 4.
A thrift?
A 4.
Thrift store.
I changed my mind mid. I changed my mind mid sentence.
Okay. I will give animation a 7.
Man, I think I gotta go up to a 9 with this one.
Respect that.
Is it changing,
No.
Joey?
My wireless adapter fell off my monitor, or my tower, and behind my desk
No, no.
a while ago, and I haven't picked it up. So maybe that's why I keep cutting out, because I have a weak signal. So I'm picking it up.
That's right. I filled in the scores.
Oh, thanks. Kevin gave it a 9. Holy cow!
Yep.
Good for you.
I'm going right there with Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Giving it a 9. It's so charming looking. I can't explain it. It just looks really... It was so interesting to watch. It was so good.
Yes.
Yeah,
It
I'll
was
give you
very
guys
visually pleasing.
I'll give you guys that the style is great. It's just the quality is just I can't give it anything higher. Sorry.
It would have got a 10, but I'm holding in memory that I don't remember at all about the door being locked again after they unlocked it.
Would you like for me to tell you the time? I can put it. I'll just put it in the snap group.
Okay. That's why I'm saying, like, because of that, I don't remember that, but I'm holding that accountable. That's why it can't be a 10. They didn't. They relocked a door they unlocked. It's a tragedy.
Oh, dropping my Disney World penny.
Oh, now that went down in value.
I don't know if there's any value to it, but
Now it's even worse.
music and soundtrack. Well, there's absolutely no music, even though there was a musician in their group.
Which is crazy.
It's actually the first Disney movie to not have
A song.
soundtrack.
You know something? I wonder if that's why this movie feels so just different as well.
Yes, it is. It's a very dark movie, very different style, and there's no music, so it is a very different movie. But
I wonder why this movie was great.
the score, the score of it was interesting. I mean, it wasn't out of place except for in one part when the sword was chopping up all the pots when the witches were throwing pots at him. That score was dumb. It didn't fit that scene. So, 0.
0.
Dequan, what say you?
Wait, I thought I gave my score for animation.
No, music.
Music.
Oh, music? I mean, well, ain't no music. So it will have to be a 0. Ain't no music.
I mean, there's score if you like the
Yeah,
background
there's
music.
instrumental.
Bro,
It just doesn't have the Disney. It doesn't have the
It's not
the
a musical.
typical Disney music.
There was not a single score that made me go, whoa, wow. Nah, that's a 0.
Give it a 1.
So
Mike's gonna give it a 7.
Mike 10.
no. Yeah, I should just to spite these two haters. But honestly, I think I want to give it a 5 because it doesn't, stand out too crazy, but it has a score that fits. It just has regular music that fits. Nothing really was out of place, I didn't feel, and I felt like everything kind of fit in well. But because it's not really, I'm just basically saying I'm playing it down the middle because it doesn't really have music, but it has music.
Okay.
Playing it down the middle.
Humor's next. So let me finish my first note before you guys jump on it. Because I made a mistake and I will point out the mistake afterwards. So my first note is I loved when the goblin jumped and was like, "Gotcha, big boy," and then flew into the barrel and screamed. And I thought he was calling him big boy until the very end when I realized he was calling him pig boy.
Pig boy.
And I just thought it was so funny that he was calling him big boy.
Got you now, big boy. Give me the breakfast buffet.
But it was hilarious when he leaped at him and was like, "I got you, pig boy," and just didn't even come close to getting him.
Honestly, now I wish it was Big Boy, because Big Boy just sounds funny now, actually.
Right? Part that made me laugh that I don't know if it was supposed to be intentional or if I'm laughing at it for the reason it's supposed to be, but the dummy was just sitting there laughing like a doof, swinging his sword, and then Elanwi comes in and was like, "Are you alright?" After he first used the sword. That made me laugh because I don't like that kid. And
oh,
he
really?
looked like an idiot
You
in
don't
that scene.
say. Dang, I remember when I hate children who are happy that they're finally getting a chance to live a dream. That's crazy.
Let's see here. I loved when the goblin was trying to figure out what he was going to tell the king, and he was like, "I'll just tell him it wasn't my fault."
Oh no! When the goblin was trying to what?
What was the goblin trying to do?
He was trying to figure out what he was going to tell the Horned King. And then he was like, "I'll just tell him it wasn't my fault."
Yeah.
And then he tells the Horned King what happens, and he clearly sees that he's upset, so he goes, "Okay," and he starts choking himself.
This
Like a
isn't before I went to the
one-sided
movies.
conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like this is karma for him hating on this poor child.
I don't know about that.
Joey, just so you understand, almost every time you get maybe 3 words out, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do to fix that.
Yeah, we'll workshop that.
Wow, he got 5 words in that time.
I'll try to say another note. I loved when Gurgi found the harp guy, and he was like, "I like this hat," and the guy was like, "Take it," and he was like, "Ooh, I like this, what about this?" And he had the harp in his hand. I just liked Gurgi.
Yeah.
He's a respectable fella sometimes.
The yellow fairy, when he was like, "Is everything that goes wrong around here my fault?" When the king blamed him for something, I don't remember what. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here.
Just try your best.
Half of the podcast is just going to be me saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, no, we'll just read his notes along with him.
I absolutely loved when the yellow guy was asked where the cauldron was. And he was like, "Is that one of my new jobs?"
Kevin is dying, bro.
Sorry, reading along with you makes it that much worse. Okay, proceed.
He said, "Was that one of my new jobs?" Remembering where the cauldron was last seen.
Oh, the grumpy fairy.
Yeah, Dolly.
Yeah.
And then Gurgi dipping when the dragon showed up. Gurgi yelled "Yikes" at one point. Yikes is my thing. Love yikes. And then Gurgi coming back to life out of nowhere and saying, "There must be crunchies in here somewhere." That's all I got.
Bro had one.
Huh?
He wanted them crunchy.
Yeah. Does anybody else have anything for humor?
I don't.
No.
Anything.
Just any scene that had to do with Creeper.
Boom, boom, boom.
I like that they had comic relief on both sides of this. I will say that. You know, they had Gurgi with the good guys and Creeper with the quote unquote with the bad guys.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they count as I definitely think they count as bad guys. Because the man wanted the Cauldron Born to literally go across the world and kill them all.
So are you saying the quote unquote was not necessary? Or?
I'm saying I don't think the quote unquote was fully necessary for a person trying to kill the entire world.
I'm looking at my...
But what if they didn't all want to be there, like our conversation earlier?
You know, to be honest, I don't think they did, because the second the Cauldron Board came at them, they freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
So they all Like, as in his army that is of the living? Yeah, 100%. Maybe not all bad. Maybe not exactly bad guys. They're not good guys. They're kind of bad, but that don't mean they're bad guys. But the king was definitely a bad guy.
Boom, boom, boom. I absolutely have no idea what I'm supposed to do to fix this.
Joey.
That's okay. We'll finish up.
That's okay. Yeah, we'll just finish up.
Joey.
Hey. I've just been messing around with settings trying to see if I can fix something. But clearly
you haven't cut out yet since you started talking again.
Right?
So I guess we'll just chug along.
I think we're gonna go to the scores.
Oh yeah, we gotta score the humor. Humor's getting a 3 for me.
Humor's getting a 1 for me.
You're on emotion.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'll go with a 3.
I'm gonna go with a 2. I could tell what moments were supposed to be funny, but I didn't necessarily laugh at really anything. I think I mostly just got a chuckle.
Alright, so I guess we'll try to get through world building. Did I make it through that?
Yes.
Yeah, you sound good now.
Perfect.
The Horned King's castle was dope as hell.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
The world building was cool, but it didn't really make sense. They were in a beautiful forest, in a field, and then all of a sudden they were in the Horned King area.
Yeah, it
It
was
still
kind of
is.
right next to each other, wasn't it? Like, really close.
Maybe it's just to show how close and overlooming the Horned King's presence and threat is.
Maybe.
That's a possibility.
Maybe it's philosophical.
Boom.
The tunnels of the castle was neat.
Philosophicles.
Every time they showed a new area of the castle, it got better. Like they did a really good job building that castle.
And ever evolving.
The setting of the quote apology scene, that was a cool setting, and there was a waterfall there, and there was no smashing.
Was there one?
Let's be happy about that. Can we be happy about that, please?
Was there really?
Yeah,
Let's just be happy. It's family friendly.
How do you, man, your vision for waterfalls is like second to none. My vision for waterfalls is absolute garbage.
The marsh was cool too, and that hut was pretty cool. I liked all the skulls and signs. But one big thing about the world building that I did not like, the castle was in the forest, and then at the end it was in an ocean.
Well, maybe it's the back of the castle.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point.
So
Maybe it was caused by the Black Cauldron, like how they ended up on that little island that was all surrounded by water after it disappeared.
Yep.
Black Cauldron can do anything you need it to.
So I mean, the world building, I think I'm gonna give it a 6. I really want to give it more, but there's just the Horned King's castle location didn't make any sense.
What do you mean? It made perfect sense. It was over many cliffs.
But in
you
the
had to
ocean.
go past. You had to go past many cliffs, and it was propped up, in the ocean. Yeah.
But it was in the forest at the beginning.
Well, you gotta remember. See, it wasn't at the forest, because remember, like when he ran across to go save, the pig. they were in like this dead land area, and then he chased after them, and then went to a rocky area, and then he stood on the cliff, and then the lightning was just striking, and it was a rocky area over there.
But there was no water.
I mean, you can't really see the water because you can only see like the upper part of the castle.
You know, I'm surprised you didn't bring up about the whole like whirlpool with the underground area where the fairies are area.
Oh yeah, that is a good area. I'll give it a 7.
And then even going into the swamp area where they have the 3 witches.
Well, I said I liked the marsh with the hut.
Oh, okay.
They did really well with world building, other than I didn't understand where the castle was.
Listen, the Horn King just, does what he wants. He has it to be what he needs it to be.
Right.
Or what the plot needs it to be. Just know it's on a hill next to an ocean that's above an ocean, but not really above it because it's behind it, the ocean's behind it, while there's some mountains there and then the rocks, You got that?
Sure.
No, I just heard typing, that's why I said that. I heard him typing, and I thought it sounded like he was like kind of writing it down. That's why I'm like, you got that?
I turned down the noise reduction, the background noise reduction, to help. Maybe that's why I was cutting out, so you're going to hear my typing a lot more.
That's perfectly
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
You haven't been cutting out, though.
He fixed it.
Honestly.
Yeah, I already gave my score right, a 7, yeah.
Yep. Dequan, world building.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
I as well. I'm going with a 6.
Woohoo!
I'm giving it an 8.
What is next? Emotional impact.
That's a good one.
The scene when they were going to off the pig, there was no emotion in Taryn's voice. None.
So you didn't feel afraid or anxious?
Well, what I felt was not portrayed on what Taryn was supposed to be feeling in that. He was all like, "Oh, I'll tell you, okay."
You see, in order to feel what a character feels, you actually have to not be biasly against them. So that plays a part.
There was a jump scare with the wolf man, a guy wearing like a wolf pelt. That was pretty cool. It didn't get me.
There was a jump scare?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they were trying to escape the castle the first time, he was running around in the tunnels and he came around a corner, and then there was a big guy with a wolf pelt and he was like, "Rah!"
Huh.
Out of nowhere. It didn't
Was
get
that when he was
me.
carrying the sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first guy who bear witness to the sword's mighty power.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then the pig boy showed no emotion or in his voice when Gurgi sacrificed himself. He was just like, "Oh no."
Once again, you have to actually be unbiased against a character to feel it, but I'm just...
And then them escaping at the end didn't feel very suspenseful at all. None of them had any emotion or fear in their voices. So the emotional impact's getting a 0 from me.
I will give emotional impact a 4 because while I didn't feel a sense of joy throughout this movie, I didn't feel a sense of sadness, but I did feel a sense of anxiousness because I was very concerned, like if they were going to make it out, which I had a feeling they would, but I was still concerned on how they're going to make it out and somebody else is going to get left behind. I didn't think that Grugi was actually going to come back, and I was afraid that Pig was going to get his head cut off.
Oh my goodness.
Or branded, either one. But so I did feel some fear and anxiousness, but I didn't feel any other emotions, so just a 4.
This movie is not... Oh boy.
What?
I'm at a 29, and there's 2 categories left, and they're not getting high ratings.
Oh no.
I will give emotion a bump, though, because I had a sense for adventure, at least.
Okay. So is that a 1?
I'm thinking 2 or 3, so I'll go 2 since I gave it a 0.
Okay.
Kevin, what about
That's
you?
2 more than what it was before.
Kind of torn about this one. I think I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with a 5.
All right.
I was teetering between closer to a 4, but then I thought about the fear. And this Horned King, man, like
he's a menacing dude.
His design alone. We said it before. It's like he's definitely one of the scariest looking.
Mm-hmm.
Most well designed.
I want to be one of the Cauldron born. I just want that title. That's such a cool title. I'm gonna give it a 7. I liked a lot of the different things they were portraying with the movie, between the different like fears, the adventure, the kind of suspenseful moments, and I liked Taryn and the princess Elle. I thought they were really cute together, and I just liked their kind of like randomly put together merry band kind of trope thing going on. I thought it was just really unique, and I liked it a lot. It was enjoyable for me, so it gets a 7.
All right.
Terrence and Princess Elle.
Message and theme. I asked ChatGTP. Let's see.
Oh, goodness.
One of the central themes is the idea that true heroism comes from within, regardless of one's background or status.
Yeah.
Yeah. Groogy was a true hero.
He learns about...
See, that's such easy bait. I just dodged it.
No, like when you really sit down to think about it, he started off as a scrubby thief that was looked down upon, and then he was called a coward because he ran away. But when it really came down to the end, he sacrificed himself for the person he always called friend, despite that person not looking at him as a friend. So, despite your background.
They grew over time to view him as a friend, because I think it was pretty obvious him calling him friend there was like clearly just like, you're just saying it, it's not really true. And as they adventure together, you see them kind of develop, and he starts to care about him, actually. For the person who said in one of the previous movies they don't like things when they just spontaneously happen, when they show something that actually develops over time...
I never said I disliked it. I'm just going based off of Groogy, like how Groogy felt. That's how Groogy felt, like all the way throughout the movie. He still called him friend, but he was just saying that to himself to make himself feel better, because even at the end, he said, you have a lot of friends, Groogy has nothing.
To be fair, he called him master more than he called him friend.
That is true. But yeah, like at the end, before he sacrificed himself, he said, you have a lot of friends, I have nothing. Man. So I'm going off of Groogy's words.
Groogy's so great. But this says that the humble pig keeper, yeah, right, humble, learns about
humble. That's right.
Learns about bravery, sacrifice, and the importance of friendship throughout his quest.
I will agree with the importance of sacrifice and friendship.
The film also delves into consequences of seeking power without regard for others.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
I don't know.
No, think about it. The Horn King was seeking power. He didn't care about who was in his way. He wanted that power. And in return, the same could be said for our, chosen one here. He was seeking power to be a hero. He didn't really care until he realized, holy crap, my actions have consequences.
I don't know. What do you guys think you'd give this? I don't know what I'm giving it.
I'm gonna give it a 5. It has the beats there, but not everything.
Kevin?
I'm gonna go with a 6.
Mike.
I'm gonna give it. From what ChatGPT said, if that's what we're going off of, I'm giving it a 10.
Jeez Louise, now you're just making stuff up.
No. Just because you hate it doesn't mean I do. I liked it, and I think everything that you read makes sense and fits because I don't have a biased opinion against hating the main character.
So hear me out here, Joey. Hear me out here. As I have a slight biasness for animal movies, Mike has a slight biasness for fantasy, medieval type things.
It's not even fantasy. I went off of everything Joey read, and it's like, that's legit.
No, I'm just saying because, like, King Arthur, you love the Sword and the Stone. Like, you're the only one who really, really enjoyed it. And then we fast forward to another movie that deals with, like, that era of time. You're the main one who enjoys it. Kevin enjoys it somewhat too, but you're the main one,
And I also give Sword in the Stone its flaws too.
Yeah,
even though I personally enjoy it because it's about King Arthur, if you take out that it's about King Arthur and you change the characters' names, it's like the movie's still like just very meh. I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much, even if it is fantasy setting, because the movie itself doesn't have a lot. It's the fact that it's dealing with the characters that I know of and like that gave it a bump up.
Yeah. I'm going to go back through this and...
But that's fair to say that.
Delves into the consequences of seeking power without regard for others. I don't buy that. I'm giving that a 0 for that. The humble pig keeper learns about bravery, sacrifice, and the importance of friendship. Maybe I'll give it a 1 for that.
You gotta give it more for that because he quite literally learns the importance of sacrifice by asking for his friend to come back.
Yeah.
He even was willing to sacrifice himself at the end when it was like, okay, I have to do this.
I'll give a 2 for it. And then,
oh my gosh! Now you're just purposely hating.
True heroism comes from within, regardless of one's background. Now I'm gonna give it props because the hero at the end of the day came out of left field with Gurgi sacrificing himself. So I will give it 3 points for that, plus the 2 points from the bravery and sacrifice and importance of friendship. So I'll give it a 5.
Shake. Welcome to the 5 game.
And that officially ties Fantasia as the worst movie. So let's see what Legacy has in store.
I know nothing about this Legacy.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin, but this movie was rewritten and animated a couple times because Disney thought it was way too dark for kids and kept telling them to switch it up. Or at least cut. Yeah, because you said Tim Burton stuff was getting cut.
Yeah, there's at least like 12 minutes of it that was cut. I think, let me look through my notes. Yeah, they first started working on it in 1973.
Wow. That's 12 years.
Yeah.
Does it have anything in any of the parks?
No. Not a thing.
Really?
Not a thing.
I would think that they would have like the Cauldron itself.
That would be cool.
It'd be cool if they set it out at nighttime and it just kept putting out like this green fog.
Yeah,
right?
That would be cool.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Missed opportunity there.
Thanks, they dropped the ball.
I had never seen it. I had never wanted to see it. I had never even heard of it until this year.
I've heard of it, but I never knew. I heard of it because a long time ago, like on Toon Disney. Oh my God, Toon Disney. But when Toon Disney was a thing, it meant like Black Cauldron or the Black Cauldron was on there. And I never clicked on it because I didn't know what it was, and I didn't want to know what it was because I wanted to watch House of Mouse.
So I was listening to a podcast where they did the same thing that we're doing. Start from Snow White, watch every movie. And when I listened to the episode on the Black Cauldron, I was like, what the heck is this? And then, like we mentioned, that belly dancer was wild. Her outfit was crazy inappropriate, and then when she twirled, her skirt came up and there was nothing underneath it.
Oh, there was something.
No, there was.
Okay, there was maybe underwear, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by nothing under there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was good. Like, oh, there was something. Hold on, they didn't go that wild.
So that's gonna knock it down from its already 0, so it's just gonna stay at 0. Because there's no legacy for me. There's no legacy of this movie.
I don't really have a legacy of it either, but I don't feel comfortable giving it a 0. But I don't have a reason to not give it a 0. That's the problem. so there has to be something, right?
I considered giving it a 1 because, like Kevin said, they are considering it, which I'm pretty sure it has been confirmed that they're working on the live-action version of it. It's very early on, but I don't know if it's official yet. So I'll
give it a 1 for that. I wanted a reason to give it a 1 really badly.
I think I'm going to go with a 2 here. It's got a cult following.
This is hard. Because I'm thinking, do I give it a 9 or it's...
Oh my goodness.
There's no way.
No, I'm considering between a 1 or a 2. Those are my legit answers. I think I'll give it a 2 because I'm gonna take Kevin's word of it being a cult following for it.
I follow a lot of Disney influencers on TikTok, and like I said, I've never heard of this movie. Yeah, I gotta stick with a 0.
From like older generation, I think I've heard it from. Like I think a dude at my work has talked about it.
So I think it is no surprise as to who liked this movie the most. Mike has a score of 69.
Let's go.
That is a very popular number in this group. A lot of 69s given out. Kevin is next with a 51.
Let's go.
Then Dequan is next with a 41.
Hey.
And then I'm next with a 36. Which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the score that Fantasia got. Yep. But it's crazy because I gave this an overall enjoyment of a 5, and I gave Fantasia a 1.
Yeah, the scores don't fully...
Yeah. It's mainly
reflect...
the enjoyment is where the most important number is, because, like I said, this was a wild ride, because the storyline, I gave a decent number. Message, I gave a decent number. World building gave a good number. Enjoyment gave a 5. But so many other categories had such low numbers.
Remember, at the end of the day, all they want us to do is enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you look, like my Black Cauldron and Robin Hood scored the same overall, but I enjoyed Black Cauldron more than Robin Hood.
I would put Black Cauldron over Fantasia, even though it's tied.
I'm so happy I let him say it other than me asking, because I felt like he would have picked Fantasia.
If you would have said it, then
if I would have asked, like, which one would you rather watch? I feel like just to spite me, he would have said Fantasia.
No,
whether it's the real answer or not, but he would say it for the laughs, and I'd be hurt. I'd be over here a little bit hurt, like, ah.
Because I gave it a 5 in enjoyment, and I gave Fantasia a 1. You can't deny that.
That is true.
But the crazy thing is I'd put this over Bambi, too.
Wait, what did you give Bambi's overall enjoyment?
37.
I think most of us would put this over Bambi.
Overall enjoyment. What did I give? I gave it a 4. So, yeah, I gave Many Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad a 4.
Mr. Toad.
So I liked it more. I liked it more than a lot of movies. Just the score is lower. But I hate Fantasia so much that I am going to give the Legacy a 1, just so Fantasia's at the bottom by itself.
That's crazy, brother.
Fantasia's so bad. I can't believe we have to watch another one.
See, Mike, that's...
Wait a minute, Fantasia 2000's better.
I've never
that's real hate
seen it, so
right
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking they're both pretty equal. Just depending on which one you're willing to be on the side of, Dino.
I like orchestra stuff. So yeah.
This is where I'm looking at the score and I'm hearing how things are going. I'm like, dang, if only this movie had animal characters in it, and dang, if only the main character wasn't
the pig, and I love that pig.
If only the main character wasn't a boy with dreams of greatness and a little bit of confidence. If we take those two things out, these two might have enjoyed it better.
Hey, hold on
well, we change one and we take the other one out.
I know some previous movies we watched with boys with dreams that I liked. Just can't think of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I will tell you that there's only been one movie that we've done so far that needed a 2-part episode, and now this is going to be another one.
Cinderella, right?
Yeah. Look at that, Mike. We can't dislike it that much if it gets a 2-part.
No, it's because if I didn't say anything, you guys would have just like dumped on it, and it would have been just that.
Just been 30 minutes of us crapping on it.
Yeah, pretty much. I had to be the combative one.
We just hit the limit of the file size, but it depends on how much I was recording before we actually started recording.
Oh, yeah, true.
But we do have to get into Riley's emotions. So what was everyone's favorite and least favorite moment of this movie?
All right. Let's gunshot this. Favorite moment. My favorite moment is when the princess appeared in the cell and they walked down the hall together and she did magic things with the magic orb thing. I enjoyed that. It was cute. Least favorite moment. My least favorite moment was the pig getting kidnapped, because that I did not like the feeling of that. That made me feel like he was never going to get the pig back.
Mm-hmm. My least favorite moment was the beginning when Dalbin is sending him off onto a journey. And my favorite moment, I think was the last part with the cauldron. Like all of it, the army being defeated and the horned king getting sucked into it.
Yeah. Mike, what about you?
I'm gonna say least favorite moment. It's hard to pick, so I'm gonna go with when Terrence tells Princess Ellie, "What do you know about swords? You're just a girl." Because I'm like, oof, that's not a good line, buddy. Not a good thing to do. So I'm gonna give that moment my least favorite moment, and I'm gonna say honestly, the ending is my favorite moment. I think the fact of him, learning everything he did in his journey, they're offering him the sword, and he's like, "I don't want the sword. I want my friend." And then just his friend coming back, though, that whole sequence I like a lot, so that's gonna be my favorite.
So my favorite, I think, unfortunately, even though it's a, I don't know how to put it, but it's Gurgi when he yeets himself at Terran, stopping him from sacrificing himself, and then sacrifices himself in his place. That's my favorite moment. Not because Gurgi dies, but because of him stepping up and telling Terran that he has more to live for than Gurgi. It's so bad the more I say it, but I like that scene.
You like when you just like when Gurgi goes kapoof.
Yeah. It's powerful. That's why I gave emotional impact of 5, because the true hero stepped up there. I don't know what my least favorite scene is, though. I feel like there's just so many that were not good. Oh, man. You know, I'm gonna say my least favorite moment was when the horny witch was trying to get with the musician. That was pointless. No need to be there. No need to do favorite and least favorite song because there was nothing. So what was everyone's favorite and least favorite character? Dequan.
Sorry. Favorite character was the princess. My least favorite character...
Don't even know her name.
What happened?
You don't even know her name.
I mean, she's a princess, okay? So, I think her title's very important, too. Thank you very much.
Princess
Al.
Elanwe.
Princess. So, my least favorite character, it's hard to say. It's either, not all of the witches, but like the one greedy one. It's either her or it's either like the little like hobbit creeper. It's either her or creeper.
You're putting creeper at the bottom?
Oh, man.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, like, well, look, hear me out. He was going to brand I was going to say the ham. Oh my God, I'm terrible. He was going to brand the pig, okay? And I was not okay with that. And then he was going to like get the pig's head cut off. He was making all the moves, even though he was making all the moves that he was being instructed to. No, I couldn't live with that, bro. Like,
At least he didn't refer to him as ham.
Look, that was an accident because isn't her name like Henwan? Henrin. Yeah, that's really close to ham. But yeah, he's like the greedy witch, like the creeper. They're my least favorite.
I feel like you need to give Creeper a little bit of a break because he's being kind of threatened by a overpowering demon monster king.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I replaced the Creeper with the hero of the story, the main character.
Yeah, but I knew it. Yup. The second you started that. Go on. Finish.
That was it.
The narcissistic pig boy.
Well, my favorite character...
Wait, which one is he picking?
Who, Dequan?
Yeah, he said he's replacing it.
He's replacing...
But I didn't hear him say he picked.
He was replacing Creeper with Taryn.
Yeah, he said replacing, but he said he was stuck between Creeper and the other chick.
Yeah, I'm going to put both of them on the list.
I feel you. Can't wait to watch Tinkerbell.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I'm just another one on your list.
Goodness. Like, I feel you though, because my favorite and least favorite of my favorite's gonna be Creeper. Great character design.
Oh man,
all around. Not only artistically, but I like the character fit well into the story. And least favorite was Dalbin.
Respect.
He's like, an apple and a piece of bread? Are you kidding me?
Didn't even give him the whole loaf.
Nope.
Just like, here, have a bite of bread and an apple for you and a pig. Go on this journey.
I'm pretty sure he even said the words "never come back" with an apple.
He's like, "Oh, I'll meet you there." Like he has better things to do before then.
So, Mike, do we even need to ask what your favorite character is?
Hey, go ahead, ask.
Who's your favorite character, Mike?
Oh, my favorite character. To be honest, actually, I don't really have a real favorite character. I like Terrence, I like Princess L, and I really like the Horned King. Like, it's between literally those three are my favorites.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to the Horned King.
Horned King is sweet.
I want to add a villain to my list.
Horned King is sweet.
He's just so cool. Like, he's such a cool villain. He's so... Plus, I mean, Cauldron Born. Come on, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And least favorite, I'm going to give it to...
The pig.
The pig, yeah. Nah, Tinkerbell. I fucking hate her.
Whoa!
Oh, boy. We made it 2 hours.
Yeah. Yep, you did.
To be fair, I think you can get away with one F-bomb, but they can check. I can check.
No.
Because I remember looking this up before, and I went on a whole tirade in the Snapchat, and then I just got ignored. I don't know. The least favorites are probably going to be one of the witches. I don't exactly know which one, because to me they're all annoying, and I dislike them for each different reasons.
Yeah. So my least favorite is going to be the same as Kevin's. Tolman. He sucked. He didn't even show up at the end. He said, I'm done with you. You're not my problem anymore. And then my favorite, I want to give a shout out to Dolly, the fairy, the yellow fairy, because he was hilarious. But it's Gurgi. Not even a question. It's Gurgi. The real hero. I'm really interested to see how Mike tries to hide his love for Tinkerbell and Encanto when we get to him, because he feels the need to trash it.
Oh no, because unlike you biased people, I will be legit.
I was 100% truthful in everything I said.
Same.
Huh, so if I'm looking this up and reading this correctly, you are allowed one F-bomb in PG-13.
It's not PG-13 though.
You
Disney
said
podcast.
PG-13 to me when you dropped an S word.
Yeah.
And I called it out. You said, "Oh, we were going for PG-13."
Yeah.
Listen, the way I see it is, I'd like to try to keep it family friendly, right? My daughter is one of our most avid listeners.
Right.
She listens nightly. And re-listens and re-listens.
Then no swear words at all. I know I'm the most offender, but there has been one or two others who have.
I'm pretty sure we got.
And I'm tired of I'm the one who gets called out every time.
Well, you're the only one that drops the F-bomb.
And I thought we just established family friendly. We just said family friendly. I even said I know I've dropped the most. But there
We said at the beginning of the podcast.
Other occasions that others have dropped it and no one cares. They play it off like, oh, whatever, it's okay.
Wait, that's not entirely true. We caught Joey several times too.
Yeah.
No, because I brought up about him dropping the S word, and I literally got a message saying, well, it's okay, we're going for PG-13.
Well, I mean, I am biased when I say that because I'm the one editing it and I'm the one who said it. So,
Then you should take it up with him, then, Mike. Not me and Kevin.
They keep abusing me.
But I will refrain from the S word. But I think D and H are open game, unless you guys think otherwise.
Let's just try to keep family friendly in mind. How about that? We're a family friendly podcast. We've said that since the beginning.
So should we stop talking about smashing?
Killing.
I wasn't gonna make a huge deal of it. Okay.
Yeah, of course, because Joy said it, not me.
No, because I'm gonna keep getting labeled as the poo pooer.
Yeah, I was gonna say the smashing can be pretty in your window, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like now, if he just
Mm-hmm.
blatantly said the word, I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
maybe not that, boss.
Keep it inconspicuous.
Mm-hmm.
We're a family-friendly podcast, Mike. Come on.
I'm not.
Yeah, that's it. Stick around because the next one is... What is the next one? The Great Mouse Detective.
Rescue's Down Under? Oh.
No, The Rescue's Down Under, we have a little bit of time.
Oh.
Great Mouse Detective, and then the first movie to not be released by Disney Animation themselves right after that with The Brave Little
What's
Toaster.
That? Oh.
Okay. But the next one will be The Great Mouse Detective. So if you guys don't have anything else to add...
Nope.
Alright, just remember they all lived happily ever animated, especially Mike.
I don't want to say anything because I feel like if I say something, it's going to be like, Mike, why you say that? or I'm gonna say or I won't even say anything, and instead I'm gonna have to hear biasness.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we're gonna go for.